Hey guys, it's Shar. I wanted to make a video on how to know the right business for you to start. And this is a funny topic for me to talk about because I've I feel like I've done every single business model there is to try out, especially at my age as a young 21-year-old entrepreneur. I feel like I've tried a lot of different business models, and a lot of them, let me just say, have not worked. I had to close those businesses down. I had to stop and restart. And it was really because they did not align with my lifestyle, my values, my goals, and my personality. When I was first getting into the business scene and becoming an entrepreneur, I wish I had this diagram behind me on how to know what business is the right business for me personally to start. And I'm very excited to break these down for you guys. If you're on the same boat, if you are thinking of starting a business, if you want to start a new business, or if you already have a business and you want to know if that's the right business for you to continue running and scaling in the long term, keep watching this video because I'm going to break it down into 5 steps. All right, so the first thing you want to do is assess your skills and passions. You want to think about, what are you good at? What excites you? And optionally, what do you enjoy doing in your free time? And I say this one optionally because you don't have to pick anything in business that you really like to do on your free time. And I say this optionally because I know a lot of people say to follow your passion and make your passion into a business. I agree and disagree on that because your passion is something that you enjoy doing, and sometimes when you bring in business into that mix, it becomes less enjoyable and you lose passion for that thing because business is now involved and it's more high stakes and there's more pressure to make this business successful rather than just something that you're passionate about. But for some people, if they're really passionate about something and they want to make it a business and that business actually performs well, then that's a different story. But optionally, if you want to do something that you enjoy, something that you do on your free time, you can also think about that when assessing your skills and figuring out what business is the right one for you to start. And I say, what are you good at? Because if you are really bad at something, you wouldn't want to start a business on that because your whole life is about to revolve around this business, right? Your business is pretty much a part of your career and it's a big thing in your life. You wouldn't want to have a job per se in some field that you're not good at because it's not going to be fulfilling and you're going to be very frustrated and it's going to make you want to give up. And it's just not a great recipe. So you want to be somewhat good or very good at what you do in your business. The other things that you're not very good at, you want to delegate and hire other people who are good at those things to take on for you. As I was saying earlier with passion, you want to make it something that excites you. It doesn't have to be something you're passionate about, but something that you're curious about and you have interest in. Don't want to make your business about something super boring because you're just not going to be invested in it. You can have a boring business. A lot of boring businesses do very well. Say, example, a laundromat or like a car wash is quote unquote a boring business, a plumbing company, stuff like that. If it is a more boring business, you want to find something within that business that at least excites you and that something that keeps you curious and interested in the business that you are running. That again, business is so hard. And I think there's a statistic that like 90% of small businesses shut down on their first year. That is because people are going into businesses where they're not good at a specific thing and they don't hire other people that are good at that thing. They try to build on that weakness of not being good at something and it just fails. Or it's something that doesn't excite them and they lose complete interest in the business and they back out. So, at the very first step, you want to assess your skills and your passions and do something that you're good at and something that excites you. It doesn't have to be something you're passionate about, but something that you at least are interested in. Step 2, you want to solve a problem or meet a need. Solving a problem or meeting a need is called product market fit, PMF, and it is the degree to which a product meets the need of a specific market. This is a key factor in a business's success. So, you want to make sure whatever your business is, it solves a problem or meets a need. If you do not have demand in your product or your service and you don't have a target audience, nobody's going to want to buy your product. Nobody's going to take on your service, especially when there's other competitors out there. So you want to make sure you have some kind of unique selling point and product market fit. So that you have ideas, a question that you can ask yourself is, what problems do people around you have that you can help to solve? Look around you. If you see a problem that you yourself or other people around you need solved and you have a solution for it, it's like a light bulb in your brain. That could be something, a potential business model or a potential product that can help other people and meet a need. This will just ensure that there is actual demand for your product or service, and that there will be people who will take on your service. Because if there aren't people who will take on your service or buy your product, then you have no business and you have no profit or revenue, and your business is just not going to be able to run. You're going to have to close it. So, step 2, solve a problem or meet a need. Step 3, you want to research your target market. I think this is probably the most important step out of everything. You want to know who would buy your service or product. You also want to know, are there enough people who need it? Because if there's not enough demand for your product and it's not profitable, or there is no revenue involved, then you're not going to be able to pay yourself out or your team. You're not going to make any revenue or profit, and it's going to have you reconsider whether you want to continue your business and potentially shut down. So, who would buy your product or service, and are there enough people who need it? Is there demand? Optionally, you want to also create an ICP profile, which is ideal client or customer persona. So an ideal customer or client persona profile is basically just a profile of your potential customer. You want to include things like demographics, their interests, their job roles, their pain points, especially their pain points and challenges, so that you can solve those and sell a product or service. You want to be able to gather customer data from the past. I'm on Miro right now, which is what I use to organize my thoughts. I also use FigJam too, but persona. So, this is actually really cool. I'm going to use this template. Ooh, this is great. Okay, so I just pulled up this template of an ICP profile, an ideal customer or client profile. So the things that you want to think about in their profile is, what is the name of this customer? It could be any name. You can create an actual person that you visualize using your product. So you want to make their name, their about me section, their needs are so important. You want to create what their needs are, their pain points as well. What challenges do they face? Their goals. What is their dream vehicle, their dream life, their dream destination? What does their ideal life look like? And then also their characteristics. And you want to map out each of them in their own little box, their goals, challenges, and then you want to think about what you can do for them. And this is going to help you brainstorm your product or your service that will solve their challenges. Another thing that I love to do within my profile for my ICP is their common objections. Because if you can address their objections to that product that you're selling or your service, you're going to make your offer look irresistible and something that they are going to want to buy. So if you can address objections, then it becomes a no-brainer for them to buy your product or to take on your services. So this is just a really quick, very simple version of an ICP profile. You basically want to get into the mind of whoever is buying your product or service. You want to break it down into their goals, their pain points, their needs, and how you can help them. And this kind of research will really help you understand who you're targeting when you get to marketing. It'll also help you realize that if you cannot figure out an ICP profile, and if it's difficult for you to fill this out, then you might not have a profitable product or service. Step 4, you want to consider your lifestyle and your goals, because not every business is right for every person. You need to think about your lifestyle and your stress tolerance. So you want to make sure that if you're starting a business, say if you're starting like a marketing agency and you're working with clients, if your strong suit is not client relationships and connecting with people, this might not be the business for your lifestyle, for your skills, or your stress tolerance. You might want to go with maybe a product instead, where you're able to market, fulfill the product, and you can also just be behind the scenes and hire a team to fulfill that all for you. You need to think about your lifestyle as well. Do you want to work remotely or from anywhere around the world? Do you want flexibility to be your own boss, set your own hours, and make your own rules? Because in some businesses, you can't do all of those things. Even though you are the boss, there are expectations from you, from customers and clients, that will limit your ability to be flexible with your business. So do you want to work remotely, or do you want to work locally and, build in-person relationships? Then maybe an online business is not something that you want to do. Maybe you want to do like clothing or like a pop-up shop or something physical and an actual store. And also, do you have capital upfront to invest in your business? If you do not have any money, if you have zero capital, and if you do not intend to raise any capital, then maybe starting a business within products might not be the move for you, because when you start a product-based business, you need to have money upfront for inventory and for marketing and for actually creating the product and samples. So these are just some things that you want to consider within your lifestyle and your goals. Is this a sustainable business that you know you can keep up in the long run and want to work in? Or is this a business that you're starting just for money and then you end up not liking it, even though you're making a lot of money, you end up hating it? And it would have just been worth it to not start the business at all or start another business and put that energy towards something that will be fulfilling instead. So after step 4, after you've considered your lifestyle and goals and said, yes, 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 this is what I want to do, this aligns with my goals, this aligns with my lifestyle, then you go on to step 5. You start small and you want to test. I always say offer your service to a few people or create a prototype or sample for your product so that you can just test it out. A big thing that a lot of people do is they get very, very excited, which as you should, they get very excited for the business, but they get super excited. They have all this momentum at the very beginning as they're creating their product and have all this motivation and interest. But when they actually get to the hard part, which is marketing and selling that product or service, when they get to that hard place and they can't find anybody who wants to buy their product or get their service, that's when people want to start backing out. And if that is you, at least you started small and tested the waters before investing too much time or money into something. Or at least you tested the waters and got feedback for your prototype, for your sample, for your service from other people who tested it out before you invested too much time and money into something. For all of my endeavors, I pretty much started off small because I had to. I didn't have the money or capital up front to make a bulk order, or I didn't have the legal protection for my services to start big with a huge company. Because if I get sued, then that's something else. I love the fact that a lot of people when starting their businesses have so much motivation and excitement for whatever they're starting. But I want to emphasize the need to start at a smaller scale because you can always grow. Whereas if you start at a huge scale and you get so many bulk products, or you offer a service and you get feedback to tweak it in some way, it's going to be so much more difficult to go back than to continue forward and pivot. So these are the 5 steps that I would suggest you guys to go over to see if that business idea that you have in your head is the right one for you to start based on your personality, your lifestyle, your goals, and everything else. So in addition to these 5 steps, I wanted to also address some common mistakes that you should avoid. So the first common mistake you should avoid is waiting for the perfect brand name idea. Yes, you want to thoroughly think through your branding, your name. Those things are important, yes. But that shouldn't be the reason why you're not starting. Just pick a name and you can always rebrand or pivot in the future. Don't let decision paralysis stop you from taking action. And a lot of the times when we're contemplating a brand name or some kind of branding, before we even do it or go through with it, usually after going through with it and sticking to that brand name that you originally had, it starts to kind of rub off on you. Like I have my marketing agency and it's called Illusion Impact Marketing. And I just chose that name because I needed to choose a name. But it actually ended up rubbing off on me and I really like it now. But if I ever wanted to, I can always rebrand. So that's why you should not wait for the perfect name, perfect item, perfect idea, perfect product. You can always have a sample, tweak it, change it in the future. You can always rebrand. You can always change it. It's okay to pivot as you figure things out. So another common mistake that I always see is letting fear of failure or lack of knowledge hold people back from starting their business. Just because you don't know everything about starting a business or the business that you want to start, that doesn't mean you shouldn't start it because you can always learn along the way. And the best way to learn is by taking action. Taking action and actually starting that business is the only way for you to learn and grow. So don't let the fear of failure or lack of knowledge hold you back from starting your business. Yes, you want to do due diligence, you want to do research, you want to know what kind of business you're starting, what industry you're starting, or what industry you're entering, but you don't want that to be the reason why you don't start. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know everything to start a business. I didn't know everything about marketing while starting my business, and I'm still making it work because I'm learning as I'm growing. I'm learning as I hire other people who know a lot more than me, and I'm learning through real life projects and experience and learning through working with clients who are actually real and not just practice or play pretend in my head. So that being said, these are the 5 steps to know whether the business that you're thinking about starting is the right business for you, and also 2 common mistakes that I see other business owners or entrepreneurs doing when starting their business, and these are the things that have held them back. Feel free to take a screenshot of this if you need it to refer back to or anything like that. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I really wish I had this roadmap when I was starting my business and starting off in the entrepreneurship scene. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really wish it was helpful. Let me know if you have any more questions in the comments down below. I might answer that in a future video or I'll answer that in the comments. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post on there daily. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel because I post free game every week. Thank you guys always for your love and support, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Bye.